What happens when the man the world calls perfect begins to fall apart in silence? For decades, Brad Pitt seemed untouchable, Hollywood's golden face, the star every studio trusted, the man whose smile filled movie posters across the planet. From the outside, his life looked like the ultimate dream. Fame, beauty, fortune, and romances the world could not stop watching. But the truth behind those flashing cameras was far more complicated. Because while the spotlight made his life look flawless, the shadows behind it were quietly growing darker. Brad Pitt was born on December 18, 1963, in Shawnee, Oklahoma, before growing up in the calm, church-centered town of Springfield, Missouri. His father ran a trucking company. His mother worked as a school counselor. To neighbors, it looked like a stable Midwestern family. Yet inside that calm environment, a thoughtful boy was already learning something subtle but powerful: the art of hiding emotions. By the time he was 10, Pitt had mastered the polite smile that kept everyone comfortable, even when questions were quietly building inside him. Years later, he admitted he often carried guilt and uncertainty he didn't yet understand. Movies became his escape. As a teenager, he spent long hours in dark theaters watching stories unfold on glowing screens. In those films, characters were allowed to cry, rage, love, and break. That honesty fascinated him. And somewhere between those theater seats and his college years at the University of Missouri, a realization formed. Acting wasn't just entertainment, it was freedom. So in 1986, at 23, Pitt made a decision that terrified him. With only $325 in his pocket, he drove west to Los Angeles, leaving college just 2 credits short of graduating. Hollywood did not greet him with glamour. It greeted him with survival jobs, driving dancers to parties, moving refrigerators, and even wearing a giant chicken costume outside a fast food restaurant to attract customers. Imagine chasing your dream dressed as a mascot in the California heat. Many would have quit. Pitt didn't. Between 1987 and 1990, he scraped together small roles in shows like Dallas and 21 Jump Street. Then came the moment that changed everything. In 1991, Pitt appeared briefly in Thelma and Louise. The role lasted less than 15 minutes, but it was enough to make him an overnight sensation. Yet fame came with a strange trap. Hollywood celebrated his looks before his talent. Determined to prove himself, Pitt chose darker and riskier roles in films like S7 and Fight Club. Those performances transformed him from a handsome newcomer into one of the most respected actors of his generation. By the time he reached his 40s, blockbuster films like Troy turned him into a global icon. Studios paid him $20 to $30 million per film, and his production company, Plan B Entertainment, went on to create Oscar-winning films including 12 Years a Slave and Moonlight. But success did not shield his personal life. Highly publicized relationships with Jennifer Aniston and Angelina Jolie turned his private struggles into global headlines. Divorce, family conflicts, and years of self-reflection forced him to confront painful truths. Pitt later admitted that alcohol once controlled much of his life before he chose sobriety and therapy to rebuild himself. Today, in 2026, Pitt is 62 and worth roughly $400 to $420 million. He still acts, produces films, and spends time between California and the famous Chateau Miraval. But his life now looks quieter. Less about applause, more about reflection. And maybe that is the real lesson behind Brad Pitt's story. Fame can give you everything people dream about, but it cannot heal the wounds you carry inside. Real strength comes from something far less glamorous: the courage to face your mistakes, learn from them, and keep moving forward when the world is still watching.